What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Venomcast. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. John K., being joined by the great bearded one above me, Garrett Rainey. Well, you're above me on my screen. That's the only screen that matters.
Yeah, I know. No, I know.
And
I was
then,
pointing down to you on my screen.
oh, okay. And then to my other top side, we have Mr. Andy Policky. Sir, are you lost? This is the Champions episode of the
But somewhere in some deep dark portal, I finally pulled one off.
This ain't Ethiopia, son. No, this is you the real deal this time around.
Yes, sir.
Driver of the 32. I'll cheers to that. Two race wins on the season. I don't even know what the final points gap was. It was still pretty big. Says 48 on the most recent of the points postings that Mr. Paul Ellison does through Sim Racer Hub. 2 wins, 9 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 3 poles, an average finish of 6.81, 53 incidents. I think out of everybody in the top 5, only one person, 2 people had less. Steve with 52 and Nathan with 50, and Nathan ran 2 less races than you, so, or 1 less race. 2 less.
2 less.
Yeah, so, very, very good season, obviously. Been knocking on the door for quite a while, so how does it feel, champ?
Oh, it feels great. It's nice to finally get over that hump and close one out. Been close several times. Had some things go the wrong way that didn't allow me to capitalize on it. But and then Ryan had that one killer season where I don't think anybody could have beaten him. But yeah, like I said, it feels great to finally get that monkey off my back and have that C by my name, and look forward to what we can do in the next seasons to come.
But you're gonna have a lot of stiff competition, obviously. I mean, this is a very, very competitive league. But I think early doors, season just wrapped up a little over a week ago. It's just like the Thursday after or Thursday and whatever, week and 2 days after the season ended. One of the early favorites for season 6 champion. It was, I think, you didn't lead the points the whole season. I'm trying to figure out which race it was that you took the lead. I know you, Jeremy, I think Paul Ellison led the points at one point. Yeah, Paul led
Steve was up there most.
Steve was up
Ryan was
there.
up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It was for a long time. It was a really close battle between all of us. I want to say it was right around Martinsville when I finally took the points lead, or after Martinsville, I took the points lead. And it stayed close up until the last 4 races, I think. And then I kind of opened it up from there.
Yeah, a lot of the guys you were racing against, Jeremy, down the stretch, had a really rough go of it. I know one of the races, kind of my fault, Atlanta, which we'll talk about later. Ryan had a really up and down season. He told us a whole list of races where if things had gone a little different, it would have, he could have reeled the gap in a little bit. You ended up winning the championship by 48 points, which, I mean, you had a really good season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You had the right breaks at the right time. But it's crazy to think like how different it could have possibly ended up.
And that you hit the nail right on the head on that. It's having the right breaks at the right time. I think if you look back historically on my average finish between all the seasons, it's right around the same average finish. I think it was season 3, I actually had a better average finish. I think I had an average finish right around 5th place, but Ryan had an average finish of like third. So that was going to be like impossible to beat. But like you said, it's just right place, right time, and having the right circumstances go your way. I had a couple incidents where you get wrecked early, or even you get wrecked, and um, to be able to come back from it and make good.
I lost my microphone. Sorry.
A little bit of technical
But
difficulties.
yeah, being able to have good points days after having trouble. It's just sometimes it's luck.
Goes your way.
There we go. Your microphone came back to the right microphone.
Yeah.
But
Just to hit a few things. Obviously, Andy, congratulations, man. It's well deserved, hard fought. It's about damn time. Let's just be honest. Let's
Oh,
get
yeah.
that out of the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's what, 3 in a row.
You've got nothing to prove to anybody as far as this league's concerned. I mean, you've been there consistently. It was going to come. There was going to be a time. You did what you had to do this season. I wanted to reiterate that again. I know I've told you that, but I truly mean that. I believe you could easily have 3 right now. You've had bad luck, you've had good luck. Other people have had better luck in some situations. But this season, I mean, we can sit and talk about what ifs, this, that, and the other. But Andy faced adversity just like everyone else. Andy had races where, he would get taken out, where he had no control over the situation. I mean, late in the season, we saw that happen when he practically had the championship locked up, but he still got taken out, and it stayed open for an extra week because of it. And I mean, that's not to take anything away from anyone, but Andy earned it. He put in the work. He fought. He went through adversity just like everyone else, and he come out on top, and that's well earned, well deserved, and I just want to say congratulations. And if there was a Vegas betting on it, I think you would be one of the favorites for sure going into season 6.
But yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I feel like I'm a strong contender every season. But yeah, like you said, it's just everything kind of fell into place where it just worked. We joke around a lot about having the golden horseshoe, and it's sometimes that's what it is. It's just having the right luck. You know, just barely missing this wreck or getting involved in another wreck, but not being completely killed where you can make some positions up. I think Atlanta, I got in a wreck late, and then there was another wreck right after that took out 5 trucks that allowed me to not only get back into it. I was pretty well reserved at Atlanta. I'm going to finish 17th. I wrecked with less than 10 laps to go. My truck was destroyed, but got lucky. Got another caution. I think five trucks got taken out on that one. Picked up those positions, got some damage fixed, and it worked. But then again, the next weekend at Wilkesboro, fighting for the lead, can't avoid a wrecked truck and got taken out 50 laps into the race. So it's just one of those deals. But it kind of worked the way my career's worked in Venom. The first 3 seasons, it was close but no cigar, and then I just started reeling off wins. And it's just it'd be really nice that the championships work that way, but it does take a lot of things to go your way to do that.
Yeah, that was one thing I was gonna bring up, and I'm glad you brought it up. Atlanta, I think you went from, you said what, 17th, 18th, and you finished in the top 5, right?
I finished second.
You were fighting, yeah, you were fighting for that. I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong, so I just went with the safer option. Yeah, you're 17th with 10 laps to go, and you almost win the damn thing. I mean, it's just that tenacity that you have, and I mean, anybody that wants to bet against you, um, going forward, I mean, I know there was a lot of Mark Martin comparisons because you think about, I think it was the year Jeff Gordon won 13 races or some crazy stuff like that. Mark Martin finished second in the points, if I'm not
98.
mistaken.
98. Mark Martin won 7 races.
Yeah.
And finished second, 300, 400 points back, but Gordon won 13.
Yeah.
And then it was 34 races that season, and between the two of them, they won 20 of them.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, like you were talking about that season Ryan had where he had an average finish of third. It was like, man, is Andy gonna end up getting one? And I'm like, Garrett, I'm so happy you did, man. You deserve it. You're a threat at every single track, no matter what configuration, right turns, left turns. It does not matter. And I mean, you showed that at Long Beach when you dominated. You led, what, 95, 97% of the laps, like total laps that race, set a record.
I think what somebody told me is I led every lap except one where I pitted,
Will
and
Salamone.
Will stayed out to pit, and he's what kept me from leading 100%.
I mean, that's just, it's insane. So if you're watching this and you're thinking Andy's not a contender, you're wrong. Uh, I'll tell you that straight up. You are wrong. This guy is the king of the castle right now, and
He's the
for a
real
good
deal,
reason.
man.
Yeah,
He's
hell
the
yeah, he
real
is.
deal. Here's the thing: if anybody's watching this and they don't know this about Andy, Andy's the guy. He will get in a practice session with you. He'll tell you exactly what he's doing. He'll watch you and tell you what you're doing wrong, and then go out and beat your ass on Tuesday night doing exactly what he told you he was going to do.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
that's what makes Andy great. And he's a great person. He goes out. He's willing to help and will help anybody at any time. And it's great to see that it's finally come full circle for you
yeah.
because you put in a lot of time. You've been here since day one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you put in the time, you put in the race, you've had the wins, you've been there, and it's awesome to see. To join that small fraternity, Nathan, Ryan, and yourself as the three champions we've had in the 5 seasons. I know it's got to feel good for you, but it feels good to see it from the outside also because I know what it means, but I also am happy to see it be you. I mean, there's other people I think it would be great to see as well. Don't get me wrong there, but it is great that you finally got one.
Yeah, it does feel really good to finally, like I said, finally get that monkey off my back, get that championship, be up there, in the like you said, where my name's in a lot of the records. But you know, it's one thing to have the wins or whatnot. You know, you're judged by championships as in anything. Anything sports, you're judged by your championships. Doesn't matter how many wins you have; it's how many championships you have. So it's really nice to have that now.
Yeah, I mean everybody can stop the Mark Martin comparisons. Andy's way better, obviously. No, man, I genuinely think the Mark Martin comparison, not the championship thing, obviously, because you have one now, but man, smooth drivers, very considerate, willing to help others learn. I know I probably don't win Darlington if you're not in every practice session with me. Um, I was watching you set hot laps, and I was like, okay, I need to pick up the pace here, or I'm gonna suck. Um, Iowa was this season my favorite moment. A little bit of vindication for myself. Uh, late in the race, I watched you drive off, and I was like, damn, there goes Andy. I'm never gonna see him again. And I started reeling you back in near the end of the race, and it was like, okay, maybe I haven't completely lost it. So it's man, racing with you is such a joy. And I mean, Eric or Garrett, I was looking at Eric's name in the points. Garrett nailed it right on the head. You're the dude that will help no matter what. I can't even count the nights we stayed up talking after races, and you just being such a positive reinforcement for me as a driver. Um, and I'm super thankful. Very happy you got your win. The guy that will tell you exactly what he's going to do, he'll help you get better, and then he'll still go kick your ass because that's how it goes. Also, arguably one of the hardest dudes in the league to pass, uh, Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach was a lot of fun.
Damn net
It's
code.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm part of like it's netcode. I have more incidents due to netcode, and I'm usually on the wrong end of it too, which sucks. But yeah, like John said, it. I like to race. I like to race people hard. I like to race people clean. I'll put the truck right on your door, especially if I trust you. Dogs in the house knocking stuff over, but yeah, I'll put the truck right on the door, right on your bumper, right on your quarter. if I trust you. And because I know, there's a lot of guys in the league that, aren't going to have the issues or not going to, we have a great group of guys that can hold a line and do all that. But
You're all good, man.
Family
But
life, man.
yeah. Well, we got like 5 dogs, and they're in the house, and now they're all over the place. So,
Oh Lord.
but yeah, like I said, I use that competition to not only get myself better, but I like to help other people get better because it makes the racing funner. The races I've had with you, the races I've had with Garrett, we've pulled 10 laps side by side with each other. That's fun. Long Beach, when you go out and dominate like that, that's fun too. But at the same time, if I could battle somebody, that makes it even better.
So I do want to talk about something that you you didn't really bring it up, but you're talking about racing door to door with people. Season's winding down, late in the race. You talk about Atlanta coming rallying to finish 17th a second. Wilkesboro blew up, tough break. It was pretty early in the race too, so I mean, not much you could do recovery wise. But Darlington, run me through this. You and Nathan door to door. Championship's not locked up, and there I can pretty much I have an idea of what you're gonna say, but was there any thought of to hell with this championship? I want to win this race, or was it just there was no thoughts about the championship? It was just all about that one race.
So early in the race, it was about the championship. I ran Nathan kind of hard early, but I could never get underneath him without putting us both in a compromising spot. So I would back off, and it was just okay. I'm gonna race smart. Gonna race smart because that's what got me here. It's what got me in the points lead is racing smart. After I beat him, and I can't remember. I think it was TJ off of pit road. That kind of went out the window. I'm still a racer, and it was I can win this race. And the way I lined up, I thought I had it perfect where I was going to have Nathan trapped behind a couple cars. So it was, I'm going to win this race. I'm going for the win at that point. So unfortunately, my plan didn't quite work. He got around those couple cars pretty quick, and then we went out and battled. And I knew if I could keep him behind me based on being behind him earlier, if I can keep him behind me for 10 to 12, maybe 15 laps, he was going to start to abuse the right front coming off a 2 with dirty air. So that was my goal, was to keep him behind me. So when he got the run off of me into 1 and 2, I knew if I could kind of pinch him down that I should be able to get the run in the middle of the corner and get him off the exit. Unfortunately, netcode kind of got the better of us. But at first when I in the middle of it, I thought he kind of came up into me. But at that point, after wrecking, it was focus. It kind of realization. I need to try to salvage points because I just threw away. My mind. I just threw away the championship. All I had to do was finish 4th, and I was running 2nd, and I threw it away. But it's just like salvage what I can. End up coming back, I think, to 11th. But after watching the replay, seeing how me and Nathan ran into that corner and what iRacing did and with netcode, what would have happened was exactly what I thought was. We were going to run door to door into the center of the corner. I would have pulled out a little bit of a lead on the center of the corner and had a better run off the exit. He would have had to pinch down and would have probably lost the position to Steve on exit because Steve would have gotten run underneath him, and it would have sealed the race. Unfortunately, stuff happens, but it is what it is, and we'll go to the next one and race them that way again.
That was pretty impressive. Come back and finish 11th. You were on your side. Like I passed you and went, holy shit, that was easy. and then I wrecked myself too, unfortunately.
That is kind of where some of the luck comes into play. That was easily a wreck that could have blown the motor. I could have ended up on the roof, um, and had to tow and been laps down. And instead, I got on the side and it got back on its wheels. Not terrible damage. I think it was only like a minute and a half with the total damage. So I was still able to maintain some speed. Never really lost the lap. It just kind of, like I said, those are the kind of things that you need things to go your way.
Garrett, anything else you want to say to the man of the hour?
Well, I had some other things, not necessarily to ask Andy personally, but most of the season you were battling teammates for the lead, right? So you had Jeremy up there, you had Steve up there. Now, and then of course Paul was up there, who's somebody you've raced with for a very long time. Ryan was up there. I mean, how does that team dynamic work when you're going into a race? Week 7 of a season, 3 of your teammates are in the top 5, or 3 of you guys with your teammates are in the top 5 in points. I mean, is it I'm looking out for number one, or is it still, help the team, have a good day?
It's kind of a thing where it's a really great cross between everything. We're always looking out on what we can do for ourselves first. Can we win? But at the same time, like Pocono, we finished 1, 2, 3, and it was about, I don't remember exactly when on the race, but it was at one point it was just like, you know what, I'm good where I'm running. Part of that is just figuring out, what it takes to win the championship. I don't have to win every single race. It was just that realization. Okay, I'm running second. I'm running third. That's okay. Um, the And at that point, I was looking at as my team as a whole. Hey, my team's running 1, 2, 3. Let's just finish like this. Um, Other races, it's not always like that, but that's the team that I have. That's what I want. I want my drivers to win. I want my drivers to, I want be like me. I want to compete. I want to be number one, you know, and the team championship's awesome too, having that. But at the same time, to see my team truck in victory lane, that's what I want the most. Whether it's mine, Jeff, Steve's, Jeremy's, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something we haven't talked about is, your team did secure the team championship as well. You guys had a hell of a season. You had 2 wins. Vroman was up front every race. I still don't understand how Vroman didn't win a race this year. 8 top fives, 10 top tens for him. You actually had 9 top fives, 12 top tens. Jeremy went out there and won a race this season. And then Jeff, of course, he's always going to be a threat. He won 3 races this year. He had some bad luck as well. He ended up missing a few races, I believe. But
Yeah, I think
I
he and
mean,
Jeff missed a couple, but
all of you guys were in the top 11 in points. 3 of you were in the top 7. I mean, that's an incredible season from a team standpoint as well. Um, it's incredible, and that's kind of why I wanted to ask, that question is, you guys, the 4 of you on Broke Guy Racing, are all a threat every single week to come out and win a race, dominate a race even. I know we run the VCCS series together as well, and I make jokes that if Steve gets out front, he's gone. You're not gonna catch him because he's so smooth. He hits his marks, and to see a 0 in the win column beside his name in this league is incredible to me because he is so good of a driver, and it's phenomenal to me that guy doesn't have 2 or 3 wins every season.
I'm shocked that he doesn't. Kind of like what you said, he's just always up front. But it seems like when he's up front, that's when he usually has trouble. Michigan, he's fighting for a win, and um, he gets taken out. Atlanta, he was he dominated Atlanta. He controlled that race. And late race issues, unfortunately, he got taken out. So, but kind of like you said, that dynamic with our team, we all know if we can run up front, the team standings are going to take care of themselves. I think at one point we had 4 of the top 6 in points. So yeah, it's just like I said, our mentality is best points day. You know, whatever you can do, the best points day you can get that. So if that's win, then that's win. If that's running second, let's run second.
Yeah, and that's something that, going into next season as a team co-owner, I suppose I should say, me and Paul. I've got 2 new teammates. One of them's in here with us, John.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna wait
I
till
was
later to bring up team news.
well, I just he was talking about that. It's something I was telling them. I'm not naive enough to think that I'm one of the better drivers on my team. As a matter of fact, I'm the weakest link on my team. But the thing is if I'm the weakest link and I can go out there and piece together a top 10, that's going to be a good day for my team. And I think that mentality that you were just alluding to of, you know, go out there, have the best points day you can, and it's going to take care of itself. That's kind of what I'm basing that on is if I'm the weakest link and I can run top 10, we should have a hell of a day. And that's kind of the approach, that I think I want to go into future seasons with also because, it's not worry about it. Just have the best day you can, and it'll let it all fall into place on its own.
That's the thing. In season 4, when Zittle's team won the championship, my team and his team went back and forth there at the end. And what it boiled down to was they did a better job of getting max points of what they could get every single week. We had weeks where I would have a good week, and Jeremy and Jeff had problems. Um, we had Atlanta. We all 3 got in a problem, and that we couldn't make points at that point. I mean, I think we all finished out of the top 10 at Atlanta in season 4. So um, sometimes, like I said, at the team championship, it's having that guy that can just you don't have to win. You have to just be there, be consistent.
All you, man.
Consistency is the name of the game.
That's it.
Consistency wins championships. So
right, that's the one thing I've learned. Obviously, I missed the whole first half of the season, but that was kind of the approach I took into the last 6 weeks of the season. Got to race 6 races.
Well, the thing with this season, that if you look at the start of it, I feel like the last several seasons I haven't had a good start. I think season 4 I was wrecked out early at Daytona, but I still was in the top 20 in points. Season 3, I think it was the same thing. I started deep in points. I started the season after 2 races 27th in points. And at that point, it was just like, you know what? We just got to finish. So whatever is going to happen, I need to finish races. So if that's a 5th, if that's a 3rd, if that's a 11th, finish the race, finish clean. And that's kind of what got me back into the points race was just that consistency. And then the wins came. At one point, this is probably other than the seasons 2 and 1 and 2 where I went winless. This is the farthest I've gone into the season without a win. But it was like I said, I got to a point where it's like I need to finish races. I need to maximize points for myself. So if that means if I'm I'm 3rd best, I will run 3rd and be content. It's hard to suppress that, like I said, that racer in me that I want to win at all cost, but at the same point, you kind of got to look at the big picture.
And it paid off.
Yep, absolutely.
We've talked. That's one of the other things that we've really talked about leading up to this season was always trying to find that extra 10th when you're trying to catch something. and not being content with where you're finishing. And I think you changing that obviously paid off big time with the big trophy.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, it's Brian's season, when I think season 3 when he won the championship, it was just, that's what started to really open my eyes on that. It's like I think I had 4 wins that season, but I finished second in points because the average finish. So it's just like, do I have to really win all the time? No, you don't. And sometimes it's like I said, it's okay to run whatever, but you know, you still want to do it.
Right. Winning
Oh.
is nice.
And this season in particular, I am a firm believer that this was the hardest season Venom's ran, schedule wise.
Absolutely. I will 100% agree with you. The schedule itself, it was probably the hardest schedule we've run in any season.
And I think the wins, when you look down the board here, you look at who won races and how many races they won. I think it shows that there's a lot of parity in this season for wins. But when you look at the top 10s and top 5s, that's where you see the breakaways. And it was the people who could remain consistent through the races, win or not, that finished up top. I mean, Andy, you had 2 wins in a 16 race season, but you had 12 top 10s and 9 top 5s. Ryan finished second in points. He had 1 win. Paul finished third with no wins. Steve finished fourth with no wins. And then Nathan finished fifth with 3 wins. And that's tied for the most all season. And it's just it's the consistency. Now obviously Nathan didn't run all the races, but I mean I'm looking at these numbers and I see that no one finished outside the top 7, or no one finished inside the top 7 with less than 10 top 10s except Nathan. And he had 9 and 3 wins. You had to be consistent on this schedule because of how tough it was, because you weren't going to have that rebound race next week. You weren't going to be able to rely on next week because next week was a hard ass track that nothing was guaranteed, whether it was an oval or not.
No, absolutely. I think that last stretch that we ran, Atlanta, Wilkesboro, Richmond, Darlington, I don't know that you get a harder stretch anywhere than that. I mean, you have Atlanta, which is kind of a toss up, the way they run it now, but Wilkesboro, Darlington, Rockingham. I mean, those are 3 really, really tough tracks.
Yeah, I think the end of that season, man, I wish I'd have been around the whole season because I had so much fun. Darlington not as much as the other two, but just I just remember sitting there watching Turn 200 and I was like, man, I can't wait to race. Like there were so many fun tracks that I Nashville Super Speedway is the big one that sticks out to me because I wanted that bad and missed out on it being homeless and all. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what season 6 brings. I think it's another schedule that's not easy. And you have to again, you have to mount it mount a whole season in I don't even know.
It's not an easy schedule, but it's a more traditional schedule.
Yeah.
You see a traditional road course like Watkins Glen instead of a Long Beach where trucks aren't, a typical thing to race there, which that race actually surprised me at how well those trucks run there. Ryan did a great job picking that track for something different, to mix it up. But even like Motegi, it's an oval. We're going to an oval. It's something we're familiar with. We can acclimate to it. We've raced there before, but those that even haven't, it's an oval track. It's you can figure it out. It's nothing you haven't done before.
It's like you said, it's an oval, but it's also like it's very similar to a lot of other tracks we run. The thing about season 5 schedule, there was nothing that was like anything we run back to back. You start out with Daytona, Super Speedway, Michigan. it's pretty well wide open, but you have to take care of the tires. Then you go to IRP, then Phoenix, and then you go to the big track at Indy, and then dirt at
You
Bristol.
can't say that. You can't say that. We're gonna get in trouble now.
No, fuck that. Indy. We
Yeah.
went to Indy. We went to
Indy
Indianapolis.
before they got stupid. But then you have the dirt track. Then you follow the dirt track up with Pocono. Then you go to the fairgrounds. I mean, those are hugely different tracks, and you have to drive them different. And it's not like when in seasons past we had uh, Kansas then or Kentucky and Texas and similar 1.5 miles tracks where you kind of ran them the same way. Each track here, it's like week to week. Everything was different. There was nothing that translated from one week to another.
John, before we move on to, future news or anything else, I did want to give a shout out. We haven't done like a points rundown for the end of season.
Yeah, I was getting ready to. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just going to say
You can do
your
your shout out. Do your shout out.
No. I mean, I was just going to say we need to give people their credit, man, because there were some guys that had really good years that they deserve their props, man.
Oh, absolutely. There were a lot of really good. A lot of guys had a lot of really good season. A really good season. A lot of really good races. Some surprises on how much people improved from season to season, even from the start of the season to the end of the season.
Yeah, shout out Pascal. I don't think he gets enough credit for how much he improved.
Agreed.
100%.
Big leaps and bounds.
He was there every race. He's in every practice. He only had one top 10 on the year, but what was going on the track, leaps and bounds improvement. I mean, the guy was competitive in a lot of races. He was up there. Huge props to Pascal. Brantley Gainey, holy smokes!
Oh yeah,
he came out of nowhere this
be,
season.
obviously
got his first win. Luke, man, I know you were a rookie of the year. Actually, congratulations on that. But from the beginning of the season until the end of the season, I don't think anyone actually shown more improvement, from start to finish than Luke did. Brantley had a higher peak, but Luke had that steady growth, and that's what we like to see, especially out of a rookie.
Yeah, you're 100% right. So let's do the points rundown. Obviously, El Champion Andy Policky finishes first. 48-point lead over Ryan Dye. 488 total points.
Great rebound by Ryan. Also, he went into that in third. Steve had a unfortunate, I should say, incident at Rockingham, and Ryan capitalized. Good run by Ryan.
Yep, Ryan Dye P2. Paul Ellison for the second straight season, I believe, finishes third in points. I was looking at it earlier and I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think you're right on that. I'll have to go look to see to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he's the second. This is his third place finish.
6 top 5s for Paul, 11 top 10s, 6 top 5s for Ryan, 10 top 10s, and a win. Paul and Ryan were separated by 8 points. That's pretty. It's 48 points from Ryan to Andy, and then the gap. I can't do math off the top of my head.
It'd be 56 to Paul.
No. I'm talking from second to I think 7th. That gap is tight. Paul 8 points behind Ryan.
27.
Okay, I was
20,
close.
30, 35 total from Ryan to Jeremy and 7.
Okay.
35.
So 35 points spread. 35-point spread between second and 7th. That's freaking insane. Steve Roman finishes 4th on the season, 8 top 10s, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s.
And was in second going into that final race. Let's mention that because Steve deserves that recognition. He had a heck of a year. One more thing about Paul is Paul actually ran the most laps this season. I did want to shout that out. He completed more laps than anybody else in the league this season. So good job,
Yeah.
Paul, sticking in there through adversity as well as triumph.
Yeah, Paul again. I mean, he's another one of those guys that, like Andy before this season, we could be looking at going, when's his time gonna be? Nathan finishes 5th in points. Obviously, we talked about the 3 wins, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 4 poles, Speed King of the Year award or whatever the heck it's called. Will Salamander finishes 6th in points, 4 top 5s, 10 top 10s. He's another one. He's sneakily getting better and better every race.
Yeah, very much so.
Jeremy McKinnon finishes 7th in points. Not the end of the season. I'm sure he would have liked. Hopefully, we see him back for the entirety of season 6.
First half of the season, though, Jeremy was on fire.
Jeremy was going to be hard to beat the first half of the season, and he just had, it seemed like one bad thing after another. Some things out of his control, some of it not, but it just things didn't go his way.
Yeah, and that's if he does run the entirety of season 6, everybody better watch out, because if he manages to roll the first half of the season into the second half of the season, good luck. 1 win, 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s. Then Brantley Gainey in 8th. We touched on him earlier. Had the win at Atlanta, first career win. I mean, absolutely huge. Made the right moves at the right time. 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Jan Van Leer. I think kind of a quiet season by Jan standards.
Very quiet.
In my opinion.
If he comes into season 6 the way he ended season 5, expect Jan Van Leer to be top 5 in points.
I can't wait for Jan to win.
Jan had a hell of a back half of the season. And it showed. He was very fast at almost every track. And Brantley too. That's really that whole team. That back half of the year, man, something happened and they
found
come
something.
on.
Yeah.
Michael Dean won that damn All-Star race, and they stepped it up. 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s for JBL. Chad Stearns rounds out the top 10 with 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 7 top 10s in 13 starts.
3 poles too.
3 poles.
He was quick.
Chad, when he qualifies, is very fast. He is the fast.
Chad, when he didn't disconnect, probably would have another win.
Yeah. Chad's up front every race. If he races a whole season, who knows what's going to happen. He's up front no matter if he qualifies up front or if he don't qualify at all, he's going to end up at the front somewhere.
Chad's got really good long run speed every single week in, week out.
All he does is race too, so he only gets better. You're going to find Chad Stearns in a lobby somewhere. No matter what, I don't think the guy sleeps. I'm sure somebody pays him to iRace because that's all he ever does. It could be the middle of the day and you'll run into him in a friggin' something on an oval. Jeff Langston, 11th, the lowest of the broke guy racing stable, which is crazy to think about. But he also only did run 13 races, 3 wins, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 2 poles.
I think Jeff was actually in the top 5 or in the top 10 up until the last race as well, and I think he missed the last race.
Was he not there at Rockingham?
That's correct. He was in 10th going into Rockingham.
Oh yeah, it does say -1 in front of his name. I forgot that was the thing. In 12th, the officer Eric Breeding with 1 top 5, 7 top 10s for EB. Big news update coming soon on Mr. Breeding. Corey Rutherford. Rutherford. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I'm saying it wrong. Corey finishes 13th, 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. Some of the best looking trucks. Not the chrome one though. That was awful. No offense, Corey, but good lord. It was a distraction tactic. It had to be. In 14th, the mega star Michael Kroll, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s.
Sportsman of the year, by the way.
Sportsman of the year. Yeah, I meant to do the awards before this, but it's fine. We're gonna keep rolling.
We'll hit them as they come.
Michael Dean in 15th. All-Star race winner Michael Dean, by the way. Pretty impressive stuff. Held off Wrecking Ball Ryan Dye in the All-Star race. 1 top 5, 5 top 10s for Michael Dean. He's another guy. He has speed a lot of weeks, but always just seems to get caught up in somebody's crap. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's something Dean and I shared in common this season was we both wound up in something every freaking race, it seemed like. And a lot of times we were side by side on the track.
When it happened. Speaking of,
yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
All right, in 17th, we have Luke Peterson. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. Garrett finishes 16th in the 16 truck. 5 top 5s for Mr. Rainey. That first one's coming. That's a promise. Cole Maxwell finishes 18th. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. Getting really far down the list, so I'm trying not to screw numbers up here. Kyle Dumig finishes in 19th. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. Where does top 5 come at?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look.
I gotta look now.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
TJ Bartell came in 20th with 6 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and a pole. He had a really good year, but he only ran 11 races.
TJ's another guy. He has a lot of speed at a lot of places.
Yeah, TJ's good.
TJ's good. He's going to be one if he does a complete season. I know he came in late in the season. I think he was 4 or 5 races in before he actually joined in.
Yeah, I think his first race was at Indy. Is that correct, or did he come in the week before? Either way, Kyle Zittel was 21st. Came in with 3 top 10s. Another guy that just had some of the worst luck you could ever imagine this season. Austin Holyfield in his rookie season, 22nd, came away with a top 10. Pascal, we've already touched on, 23rd in points. He had a top 10. Very much improved on the track, Pascal was. Ethan Patterson, another rookie, showed up. Ethan was there 14 out of 16 races. He was there every week in a lot of the practices, looking for, a big jump next season from him, talent-wise and skill-wise. Paul Sargent, Paul's Paul. He's going to be there, as many as he can be. Where he's going to be. Paul's a guy that he comes in every week. He just runs his race, and he's been quick. There were a few tracks where I was like, holy crap, I'm running top 10 and Paul's passing me. What in the world? I was very pleasantly surprised by Paul Sargent a few times this year. 26th, nobody of any recognition. 27th, I'm sorry, 26th was Mr. John K., your host for the Venom podcast here. Only ran 6 races, but
I put on a damn
races.
I put on a damn show.
The man come home with a win, 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s in 6 races, and had almost as many incident points as Andy did in 15. 27th was Flanky. Flanky got his first win this year, guys. Bristol Dirt. Flanky absolutely took advantage of Nathan getting blown up and went and won that thing. And Virus. Flanky ended the season. He only ran 8 races, but he did have that win, which also attributed to the top 5 he had, as well as the 2 top 10s he had.
To be fair to Flinky, though, he was running right there with Nathan. And
absolutely.
It wasn't just they wrecked out and he left.
No,
he was. So those 3 were kind of in their own class at that race. I was gonna run 4th, and Nathan and Brandon had issues, and I ended up running 2nd. So.
And then I think from there down, it's just going to be guys that were very sparsely here or came back late in the season.
And a squirrel. I see a
Daniel
squirrel.
Murray in 28th, Kevin Cochran 29th, Kevin Sargent in 30th. Hope Kevin can get back with us next season. Ryan Boerboom in 31st. Rodney Matney came back. That's his first race since season 2, I believe. He ended up running 4 races with us. I hope Rodney's back next year full time. I'd like to see him back in the field. He showed some speed a few times. Got into some incidents, but I think a lot of that was just the rust being knocked off. 33rd don't matter. Fucking idiot. 34th Rodney Roberts. 35th David Fay. 36th another fucking idiot. 37th Shane Winslow. 38th was Virus, who only showed up twice. Like you said, Andy. Bristol Dirt dude was stupid fast. Just ended up running into some problems. 39th, another moron. 40th was Carson. He came back. What? I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it, okay?
I love it.
40th was Carson. Only ran the one race, last race of the year. Dude came home with the top 10. I mean, Carson's going to Carson. He had 22 incident points in one race, but he still got a top 10. I don't know how he does it. Nobody knows. Nobody can explain. It goes against every law of physics.
He
But the
kind of
son
has
of a
that
bitch
Nathan
can flat
Reynolds.
drive a truck, okay?
He's got that Nathan Reynolds mentality. You hit the wall and go faster.
Yeah. I don't know. I
don't
need
know
Carson to show me the trick to it, because he can flat drive a truck, but
I don't know
you're gonna
how
get
that
what you
works
get out
at
of him.
fucking Rockingham.
And then the last 3 guys that ran a race with us this season: Sean Russell, Dustin Dean, both ran 2 races with us, and then Sam Dunaway ran a race with us. I'd like to see Sam if he could ever make it back to us. I know his work schedule changed, keeping him from racing with us. Sam, we miss you, brother. If you ever watch this, I'd like to have you back with us.
He better
And that's
watch
your
this.
complete rundown, 1 through 43 of drivers who spent time with us. Did you ever figure out where Dumig's top 5 was, John?
Daytona, and he almost
Daytona.
Best part is he almost had 2 straight top 5s. He finished 6th at Michigan.
Heck yeah, Dumig. Keep it
Shout
rolling,
out,
brother.
Shout out Kyle Dumig. I love that guy. Kyle's awesome. Man, he does way too much sometimes to stay out of the way of people, and I know it hurts his own race. But shout out Kyle Dumig. He races everybody. He's arguably the most respectful person on the track, out of everybody in the league, and he is very much appreciated. I just had to make that known.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree. Dumig is probably one of the cleanest racers in the league. He'll give you ample room, and it puts himself in bad position sometimes doing it.
Yeah, and honestly, most of the incidents he gets caught up in are not his fault. He just gets run in the back of because he knows how to slow down for wrecks. So
he definitely doesn't have those ARCA brakes.
No, he does not. That being said, I know you mentioned some of them, but we're gonna go back through them. Rookie of the Year, Luke Peterson, well deserved. Luke's got a ton, and I mean a ton, of 1 lap speed. Got to work on the long run stuff, and he'll get it down. I have faith.
And he won that by beating out TJ, who had a good rookie year as well. But Luke, all the credit in the world goes to Luke. He showed up for every race, put in the time, and at the end of the year, it was showing for sure. He finally put a good race, solid race together at Atlanta. Got his podium finish, and that was awesome to see. And we're looking for more of that out of Luke. I think if Luke could ever figure out full race, he's going to be a contender. He's very fast.
It's not going to be too long before we see him win a race. It'll be.
I agree.
We won't be surprised when he wins either, because it's something that's going to happen. Most popular driver, nobody really cares. Most improved.
Come on now. 3rd time in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever.
3 time.
I took
3 time.
I can't. I have more most popular driver trophies than I do race wins. That's all I care about.
I have more trophies than wins. I have 0 wins.
That's gonna change. Most improved. I think Brantley was most improved, right?
He was.
Yeah, Brantley was most improved.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. I mean, that dude. Jesus criminy, that guy. I don't want to I want to be in front of him, so I don't have to try and pass him. because he's hard to pass because he's so fast now.
Brantley went from being a guy that was, you would see in 11th or 12th, and he was there every race. He would be 11th, 12th, somewhere in that range, and you could get by him if you were fast. He would race you. But this year it went from he's in 11th and 12th, but he's the guy moving up, not just sitting in 11th or 12th, and that I think was the big change for Brantley.
He's another one that has a ton of long run speed. When we get these longer green flag runs, he ends up at the end of the run, like week in, week out, being the fastest on track.
Great tire saving. Out of Brantley.
Fun fact: out of everybody that ran a full season, not named Nathan Reynolds, that did not have double-digit top tens, Brantley had the most top tens out of those people, with 8. Well deserved. I love racing Brantley. Brantley's awesome. We had him on the podcast. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. After his Atlanta win. Yeah, I mean, he's another dude that when he wins another race that's not a plate race, or pseudo plate race, what the hell ever. Atlanta's stupid. When it's a normal oval off throttle, whatever, regular track, we're not going to be surprised because Brantley has shown speed, and it's going to happen. I mean, it's just gonna he's gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be top five contender at Atlanta next season.
Old Atlanta. We're going to old Atlanta.
Yeah, we're going to old Atlanta. I could say he'll probably be a top 5 contender there.
I would love to run top 5 at old Atlanta. I probably hit the game. Happens. What I don't remember what it got renamed to. The Sportsman of the Year award. This is very important.
I think I can't remember if we're calling it the Rocket Man.
It's the Rocket Man Sportsman of the Year award, to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's in memory of Merv Turner, who we lost, former member of this league, someone we all loved and cared for. He passed away right before our season started, actually.
Yeah.
So in his memory, I think that's been renamed to the Rocket Man Sportsman of the Year award, as well as the Daytona race. I think is being named the Rocket Man 150, I believe.
Yeah, Daytona is going to open every year, I think, and it should be named after Merv. Was lucky enough to be teammates with Merv for half a season. If that's even what it was. I mean, just the consummate sportsman. I mean, such a nice guy. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter where you came from, what you looked like, how you raced. Merv was always super kind, super willing to talk, and he's just awesome. I mean, he was the first person to win Sportsman of the Year in Venom history, and it's super cool that we are honoring him like this. I think it's a great way to honor a great man. And the Rocket Man Sportsman of the Year for season 5 is Michael Krall, a dude who
another absolutely great man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, there's selfishly nobody more deserving than Michael Krall for this season. Some people think of the Sportsman of the Year award as the Tough Luck award or some bullshit like that, but there's so much more than just on track things that go into this award, and I mean, there's not a single person more deserving this season than Michael Krall, and I just want to make that abundantly clear. That dude is a fucking trooper. He's an awesome individual. He is so much fun to talk to. I'm so glad I'm friends with him. I'm better off knowing him. Whenever you see his name pop up on Discord, it is going to be one hell of a rabbit hole. And yeah, I'm just super. We're all so blessed to have a friend like Michael Kroll, and if you didn't vote for him, fuck you. That's on you. Paint scheme of the year voting's not done yet. Um, I don't even know who the hell's in the Elite Eight or the Final Four or whatever it is. If Eric Breeding's in there, I'm voting for his paint because his paints have been awesome. Jeremy's Castrol paint, if it made it, it's going to be a tough one to beat because that paint is
Yeah, I
sick,
think it knocked off my red, white, and blue paint to
which
make it to the
was
Final Four.
that red, white, and blue paint. Extremely, I shouldn't say extremely, is simple but very elegant.
The Elite Eight was Jeremy's Castro, Garrett's Golden Eagle.
The red, white, and
Eric,
blue one.
it cuts off, so I can't tell. Eric
Oh.
Breeding's Thin
it
Red
was red,
Line.
white, and blue.
Zittle's Razor White. Another Golden Eagle by Garrett. I think that's the
The
red,
red and
red and
gold.
gold. The 3 Chi Black from Dumick. Paul Ellison's Mullet Music Productions. I believe that's the Davey Allison throwback.
It is.
The
And
Halloween
then-
one.
Kyle Zittle's Power Ranger.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that next week, 2 weeks from now, whenever we do one. We're in the off season now. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated if we ever get to vote on the rest of those, which might not happen, but we'll find out. Oh, hey, the tab just opened on because somebody typed in it. Let's talk about some team news, and then we'll end this episode off with our favorite moments from the season. Team news. Mr. Policky, you are keeping Broke Guy Racing as the status quo.
Broke Guy Racing is coming back. The band is staying together. So all 4 of us are going to be back, looking to go back to back on those team championship. Gonna have a lot more competition this year. It seems like it's not gonna be as easy. Got some news that we've got a couple very, very formidable teams.
Yeah, Ziddlink has...
Ziddlink. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Garrett. I'll let you drop that one.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say RNS dissipated, sold off to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, wait a second.
3BM, I guess, sold off too.
3BM got caught in some legal troubles,
Yeah.
and I got to keep the 2 out of it and the font. I have the font for the 2. That's important for the storyline. Ziddle is an idiot and did some negotiations through the team for his sponsors. Mr. Policky, who exactly is the shadow buyer that I've heard some rumors.
Well, Broke Guy Racing was a buyer of trying to be a buyer of several teams. We were looking to expand. Unfortunately, we got outbid by every single one. So I don't have an expansion team yet.
I had heard rumors that Ethiopia's favorite son may have been the shadow buyer. Hate to see it racing, hate to see it motorsports, whatever the fuck their name is.
Motorsports.
Hate to see it motorsports. Yeah, that's right. They stole some Alabama gang trucks and crashed them already. So, Ethan Patterson, Austin Holyfield are hate to see it racing.
Insert coins being back next. They'll come back next year.
Insert coins coming back. I think Michael Kroll.
They'll be a threat.
Michael Kroll is back with Rebel Scum.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
he's back on Rebel Scum.
Oh, tisk. Let me look through this. Work in Progress Racing stays the same.
Right.
Work in Progress Racing is staying the same. They are actually going to be in alliance with Broke Guy.
Who is?
So Work in Progress.
Okay.
They're moving into our shop, so they're going to be into a alliance with us all next season. Possibly adding a second driver.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's big news.
That is big news because I heard through the grapevines that Corey didn't want to expand. So that is big time news, something to keep our eye on.
We've got a driver in line that we're looking at. We'll see how he races and go from there. But yeah, there is a driver in line to take a second seat at Work in Progress Racing.
Interesting. I'm excited to see how that
So,
unfolds. I don't know who it is, but Piston Head Mafia, assuming Sammy and David Fay come back, they'll run with Flinky and they'll be the same. Raging Moose is Kevin Sargent and Paul Sargent. They're having funding issues, so they're struggling to put trucks on track. Unfortunately, because I enjoy racing with Kevin, and there is a clip in the intro video of me and Kevin racing at Texas from season 2. Season 2.
Fun fact, Broke Guy Racing. I actually started my career in iRacing from Raging Moose Racing. Season 1 in Venom, I was in Raging Moose Racing for actually season 1 and 2. And then we started Broke Guy Racing in season 3. Kind of like what Corey's team is. We Strong Alliance kind of in their shop and then moved out in season 4 and 5. So had a decent shop in season 4 and upgraded for season 5, and it kind of paid off.
And your shop looks an awful lot like Penske's, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Money came from somewhere.
Zitalink Racing, interesting.
Just when we
interesting
thought
lineup.
Zitalink was going to be dissolved,
Yeah,
they
Zital
have.
Inc. was almost dissolved. Yes,
Zitalink was dead from what Kyle said, and then Kyle comes out swinging. Carson
That's
Mitchell.
going to be a strong team.
He got some mob money or something somewhere.
That's how he paid for turn
He
200.
did just make a trip to Vegas.
He did. That's facts. Kyle Zittel has fired Carson Mitchell from his college development program, which is super shitty. I don't know how Carson's going to pay for college now. But retains Chad Stearns and Will Salamone, adds himself, and adds 2-time champ Ryan Dye. And a new logo.
That's huge.
That is a huge ad.
That
team
really is quite formidable.
It is really decent.
That team could win 7-8 races next year.
Yeah. That team's going to be a problem. Garrett, take it away, my friend.
Well, I mean, we forgot that Nathan has revived Superkick.
Did a little CPR.
And brought back Superkick Revival Racing, who has signed Brandon Vires, who has signed Eric Breeding, an RNS driver for the past 5 seasons, has signed Carson Mitchell, who I guess Nathan's paying for his college. I'm not sure how that works.
He couldn't even pay for 3BM. How's he going to put that kid through school?
Right. And then,
sorry, Carson.
To me, the big surprise there was Luke Peterson. Luke Peterson, a driver who I thought from day one would be, on Alabama Gang as soon as season 5 ended. Wound up on Superkick. That is an awesome team. They've got there a lot of potential on that team. If Vires shows up and runs every week, he'll add points to that team. Eric consistently good. Carson can go out and win any week. Luke's showing a lot of promise coming up. That team could contend for some wins next season also.
If I didn't realize it, like halfway through the season, I was watching races. I was like, man, I like this Luke Peterson guy. I'm gonna try and sign him for 3BM, and I completely forgot he at the beginning of the season signed with Raging Moose. So yeah, fun fact.
I have it under good authority that Superkick will be in an alliance with my team, the Alabama Gang.
Oh, that is interesting, Garrett.
Me and Paul are going to run it back, and we've brought in a couple of new guys. Ethan, of course, started Hate to See It Motorsports, and Crawl has gone back to Rebel Scum. So I had a few open spots, and there was an announcement 3 or 4 weeks before the end of the season that a certain driver was not going to be returning to his team for season 6, and he was bringing his number 2 with him. And so I reached out to him, and I filled that spot. Mr. John K, welcome to the team.
Howdy. How about it?
And so I had one spot to fill, and I had quite a few people interested. And I don't want anyone to feel as though they didn't deserve a spot, or they didn't, warrant a spot on my team. This was a discussion that was had numerous times over numerous days, and we had to fill one spot. And there were 5 candidates for that one spot. And Paul and I discussed it numerous times. It was a tough decision because there were situations where if I brought on one person, I had to bring on more people, right? And it come down to a situation where I had one spot, and there was one driver that Paul and I both felt strongly about, thought could bring something to the team that could help us, and that was Nathan, 2-time champion. He's going to do a number switch this coming year, going to the number 38, which was a number that I ran in my first season in Venom racing for Nathan with Super Kick. And we're looking forward to next season. The 4 of us. Andy, we're coming after you, brother. Broke guy.
I got a target on my back, and I can feel it.
Not you personally, just your team.
Oh no,
yeah.
We're coming after that. We're coming
There's
after
a couple
that
targets actually. There's a target on the team and a target on myself. So.
Oh yeah, that two truck's coming. It might not make it, but it's gonna try.
If it stays the way that the season kind of finished up on season 5, this will probably be the closest season from 1st through 10th in any season that we've had.
And it's going to be hard as hell to break that top 10.
Absolutely. Everybody has kind of stepped up their game. I mean, at one point, I think we had, if you had a bad race, you could have dropped from 1st to like 10th or 12th in points. And that was deep into the season. That wasn't like week 2. This was like 6, 7, 8 weeks in. There was 15, 20 point spread between 1st and 10th. And I think at one point, with 2 weeks left in the season, there was only 25 points between 2nd and 10th. So yeah, I really think this is going to be our most competitive season, top to bottom yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight. It is gonna be a dogfight. Man, I'm so pumped. I think I texted Garrett yesterday or today, and I was like, man, can the season start tomorrow? Or maybe it was Nathan. Might have been Nathan too.
You sent that to me as well.
Unfortunately, there's too many weeks left until Daytona.
Yeah, that's
a race
facts.
I'm very much looking forward to, by the way.
I am too. I'm just excited. I'm excited to get back to run a whole season. Missing the first half of the season kind of sucked. So, quick rundown of the schedule for season 6, which starts out May 9th. Starts out with the Rocket Man 175 at Daytona. It'll be a night race, 70 laps to honor Merv. Again, just we talked about it. Merv's awesome. Then we go to Old Atlanta, 105 laps on that tricky ass surface. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm pumped. I love Old Atlanta. I'm glad it's back on the schedule. I'm gonna have to figure out that voodoo line that all the really fast guys run and see if I can figure it out. And not crash, because I like to run the wall. I have issues. I don't know, man. Don't question it.
Drink and pop and run the top.
Hell yeah. That is the motto we live by. Race 3, North Wilkesboro. I'm going to try and defend my crown. Although it's not a throwback race. I probably can't win. But
I am looking forward to redemption at Wilkesboro. I think I think that's going to be a good race between us.
I think. Oh man, I was like that. Yeah. That's Wilkesboro is such a special. It's not quite Darlington special for me, but Wilkesboro is a very special track to me. I honestly hadn't heard of it until they talked about scanning it for iRacing, and I have fallen in love with it. I wish I could go to the All Star race. Um, Such a cool place, so much history. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Jeremy finally gets the race he's been bitching about for like 5 seasons. I haven't even known him for 5 seasons, but Jeremy's wanted to run Mosport. He's sponsoring it. That's race 4, guys. We're going to a road course the 4th week of the season. Me and Andy have already been talking times, so it's gonna be a good one. It's a tough. It's a simple layout, but it's such a tough track.
There's some very, very technical spots in it, and it's very, very easy to screw up in the truck.
That track is so off camber. The whole lap, you're off camber, and it's tough, man. It really is. I ran some laps there, and I finally figured it out. But man, that track is not easy.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast. And like Andy talked about, we're gonna find out just how good some of our road course guys are, because the most important part of turning right and left is keeping it on the track. And there's a couple spots at Mosport, if you haven't raced there, it's tough. It is tough. We follow that up with Texas. I can't wait to go back. Andy is sponsoring Texas. Hopefully it's 90 degrees again, because that was a fucking blast.
It's in June, so yeah, more than likely it's going to be 90 degrees because air temp usually in June in Texas at night is about 105. So I wish iRacing would go hotter, but yeah, it's going to be a hot race there. I promise you that.
That track temp gonna be high, and John K gonna be happy. Somebody to watch out for at the Texas race, Paul Ellison. Paul's really, 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 really good at Texas.
Paul is going to contend for a win there.
Paul, I'm gonna stretch it far enough to say Paul's gonna win there. He gonna beat Nathan. Twin Ring Motegi Oval is next. We have not raced there since my birthday in season 3.
We're not doing that crazy back-to-back thing either this time.
No, we're not.
Damn.
It's just the oval. And I'll tell you somebody, since you made a shout out text, I'll tell you somebody better watch out for it, Montegi. And it's going to surprise you when I say it. Michael Crawl. When we were there last, Michael Crawl, if I'm not mistaken, you can check me on this, he finished second. And then went out and won the road course.
He won the road course first and then ran second, but yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he finished second. I know he had a really good run there. I think Michael will be contending at Motegi Oval.
Michael Crawl finished 5th on the.
Okay, 5th. I knew he had a good run. I'm mistaken then. I knew he had a really good run there.
He was really good there. Yeah, there's no mistaking that. I don't understand that track, but I'll figure it out.
It's like a flat Darlington, but not.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, Ryan actually led the most laps and finished second to Carson. So my mistake there, that Michael did finish 5th, but then he went out, took advantage of Andy going off the track early at the road and just drove away. Drove away from everyone.
That's that racer mentality that got the best of me. Just really over aggressive move. But then, like you said, he not only kept it, he drove away from everybody there. So
yeah, he was super good there. We followed that up by going to Michigan after Twin Ring Motegi. I'm very excited to go back there. I have some unfinished business there.
I get to wreck you again.
Yeah, you do.
I would like to complete a Michigan race without getting wrecked on the last lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's like the new Dover. If we ran 16 Michigan races in a season, you wouldn't stand a fucking chance.
If you ran 16 Michigan, 8 Texas and 8 Michigan, I don't know that I'd finish in the top 20.
It's all them speeding penalties. You've been hanging out with Jeremy too much. And then
I was speeding, and then, like I said, getting involved in accidents near the end of the race.
yeah, driving over our head, eh?
Oh yeah, just a bit of driving over your head.
I'm really looking forward to the next one on the schedule.
Oh yeah, me too. We go to a track that has not been featured in Venom yet. We go to New Hampshire. I don't know what to expect. I don't even own the track yet.
I do. I know what to expect, and I think me and Andy's thinking the same thing.
So New Hampshire is going to be very similar to kind of race like Milwaukee.
Oh,
It's very similar layout, very similar banking, and you've got to run it kind of the same way.
perfect.
In actuality, the Milwaukee setup that we built was based off the New Hampshire iRacing setup with
Oh,
very minimal adjustments on it. So it's going to be a fun race. That is going to it's going to put on a good race, I believe.
so I should be good as long as I don't get run over on a fucking restart again by some douchebag.
It's
Cool.
it's pretty wide too. I mean, you got room to race there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot wider than Milwaukee. You can actually, and there's
There's a top groove that you can run.
I was gonna say there's at least 3 distinct lines. You can run all the way down to the grass, and you can run all the way on the wall, and it doesn't matter.
Oh wow.
You can be fast on either side.
Well, time to learn how to run the wall at a flat track. Next is the All Star race. Nobody cares.
Oh, whoa!
Nobody cares.
I love super speedways. Thank you very much.
All
I
right.
care. iRacing Super Speedway for the All Star race. I fully intend on being in that race, even if I have to race my way in for the
I'll
3rd or 4th year in a row.
I'll give you my provisional at the iRacing Super Speedway All Star race because I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be a shit show.
You
I
say that,
disagree.
and we
We ran
ran
there without a caution.
without a caution, without really one big incident until the last lap.
No, John don't like it because he killed himself there.
I
He
should.
wrecked on the pit road.
Hey, now that's not nice. I don't like the place anyways. I did not like it far before I put myself on my lid.
You won't have to pit on the green this time, though.
It's an All Star race.
Yeah, whatever. I just don't like the track, man. It's dumb. I'm sure it'll be fun. Richmond.
Dumb or not, it's not as dumb as some, like the Coliseum. So
I would rather it be at like a mile and a half, but it is. It don't matter. If it was at a normal track, like not the Coliseum, I would rather it be at iRacing Super Speedway than the Coliseum, but I would rather it be at like a Charlotte or a Texas or something.
how about Kentucky or Kansas?
I'm down for Kentucky. You're talking my language now.
I'm liking Kansas.
like
Have we ever run at Kansas?
No,
in Venom?
no. So
Not in the Truck Series.
vote for Kansas.
Kansas
bastards.
is an amazing track, guys. Why are we not running Kansas?
Vote for Kansas.
Oh, if you want to
bastards.
run Kansas, VCCS is running Kansas this season.
I'll
I'm
be there.
there.
I can run the top there.
Number 13 car is ready to go.
Roll Tide, Andy.
You
Everybody,
stuck that one in, but I'm gonna leave it there. So it
did.
looks good.
I did. I have. If you want a different version, I can send it.
No, it's good. It's gonna stay there.
Richmond, 175 laps. That seems like more than we ran there last time. I might be mistaken. I don't remember.
It's a shorter track. That's
I think
about
we
right.
ran 200 last time, actually.
Oh God. Well, I'm excited for Richmond too. Richmond will be a good one. That track, honestly, that track produced some good racing last time, in my opinion. You could move around and actually find some speed. In my humble opinion. Should be a good one. It'll be short track carnage, and then everybody will weed themselves out, and then it'll be good green flag racing, I think.
That in Iowa actually it usually puts on really good racing with us. They're both really wide, so you don't get the dive bombs you get at most short tracks. So you actually do get a lot of good racing, and then the exits of the corners are not nearly as tight on some as on some tracks. So you don't get the guys that get loose off and spin down to the inside there as well. You know, late in the run, you kind of get it, but like you said, you can move around and find different lines that kind of work for what the tires are doing at that point.
Yeah, you'll either get a spin the second or third lap of a run, or you'll get it the 52nd or 53rd lap of a run. Once you get into that middle part of the run, the truck's really solid there. I wish it was a little easier to turn in the middle of the corner, if I'm being honest. But other than that, I think that's where a lot of the issues on exit come from, but that's just my opinion. I'm excited. I'm excited for Richmond. Richmond's a lot of fun.
My question is, are you going to rip the top at the next track, John?
Fuck no, I can't. Homestead's next. And I'm gonna, you know what? This is my promise right here. And I just realized how closed my eyes are. I'm conquering Homestead this season. I'm not gonna win, but I'm getting a top 10 at Homestead this year.
That is our endurance race.
Yeah.
145 laps at the 1.5-mile transition race also.
Yeah, I have not had good luck at the endurance races. I've only finished one under full power with a clean truck, and that was Texas 2 seasons ago.
I'm glad you can say that.
I need. We talking about driving over our head again?
All right, next race.
Andy, you're gonna have to show me the line at Homestead and then kick my ass, but I don't care because I just want to finish a Homestead race without hitting the fucking wall. Honestly,
This guy does it the best, so if you can follow his line, you'll be good.
I'm fucked.
Hey, you already know. You already know where I'm gonna be.
On the bottom, I think
I'm a catfish.
I got a pretty good idea this season of how to do it. Garrett opened my eyes to something about a track I'm actually good at. So we'll see what happens. Bristol's next. I'm getting that motherfucking jar of honey this year.
You got to beat me to it. I've already
It's
got
a
2 of them.
throwback.
I will dump the shit out of you. I don't care.
It's a throwback race.
Yeah, you're done. You're done, son.
So not only have I won the last 2 jars of honey, I'm the 3 for 4 in concrete races.
Are you actually?
Yeah,
Dover?
Yeah, I won Dover, Bristol.
Well, you're just a regular old Chase Elliott.
Yeah, actually, I won Dover, Bristol, and then I did not win Nashville. Yeah.
It's the throwback race. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. I'm coming for you, Andy.
I may be running a scary paint scheme and that
scary.
race.
We talked about that last. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. Watkins Glen is next, and that's an interesting one. It's kind of weird going from Bristol to Watkins Glen. A lot of braking. Well, I guess not a lot of braking back-to-back weeks, but Watkins Glen is going to be a blast. I'm excited. I have some things I need to take care of there.
There are 5 or 6 of us that are going to be really good there.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's going to put on a really good race.
I think, and there's no comp caution this season. Right? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah,
that's correct.
No comp cautions.
No comp cautions. So it's gonna be 38 straight laps of road course action. There has never been a yellow for cause at a road course race in Venom history. It's all been competition cautions. So no comp caution. Let the shit fall how it falls.
I will say, if me and Nathan are up front at the end of that race, there might be a caution for cause at a road course for once.
You guys you guys will be so far ahead of. Well, you guys might be so far ahead of third that it won't be a caution. You'll just take each other out like Senna and Prost, bro.
You say that, like I said, there's several guys that are good at that road course.
Ryan will be
Ryan's
good. John, you'll be up there.
John, you're gonna be up there. Paul,
Michael Crawl.
If it's hot, I'll be up there. If it's not, I'll be.
I could see there being a surprise up there too, because it is a track that a lot of our guys are familiar with.
Yeah,
They won't have to go into that week as a learning process, more of a refining process. And I
that's
think
true.
that can be conducive to some guys yawn. Um, I don't want to not
Jeremy's
speak on
gonna be sneaky
somebody.
good there.
Jeremy. I don't want to not speak on somebody. I just can't think of all the people I'd like to name, but I could see some surprises there. Someone that you're not expecting up there
Hey,
to
that is
compete at
my
Watkins
worst
Glen.
road course. Historically, that is the worst road course for me.
That's ironic
That
because
is.
I feel like that's probably the one you know the best.
My best finish there is 11th
Oh.
in Venom. It is
Right.
11th.
I was about to say Truck 200. You ran really well there.
Did you miss season 1 there?
I
Season
missed
2?
season 1. I was on
Okay.
vacation.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then we didn't run that season 2.
No, it was Charlotte Roval, which is where you picked up your first
Yep,
win.
where I picked my first win. And then when we ran it in season 4,
Yeah, you hit the wall.
I ran out of talent.
Yeah, we talked about that. I hit the wall in the S's, which is also not fun.
Well, not only I hit the wall so hard I bounced off the wall into pit road,
Into pit road, yeah.
and I couldn't slow down quick enough. So it just exacerbated all kinds of issues.
Yeah, I sped on pit road and then hit the wall in the S's and then gave up. So we both have a little bit of redemption there. That should be a good one. I'm excited. Watkins Glen, it's really easy to learn and it's so flowing. Like I don't know. It's so easy to get in a rhythm there. I just love Watkins Glen.
It's the super speedway of road course races.
That's fair. I can understand. Next is your kryptonite, or was your kryptonite for a long time, Dover. And then you finally won there season 4? Season 5?
Dover is a track that I always run good at. I just could never finish. I always got taken out in somebody else's mess, which is really easy to happen at Dover because it gets really tight in places.
Yeah.
So yeah, in season 4, I finally broke through and won. I figured out some things that work really, really well there. So hopefully when we go back there, I can remember what I did and be able to capitalize on that.
I have those logged in my head, by the way. I'm going to kick your ass this time. Probably not, but I'm going to try.
Knowing and doing are two different things.
That is true. That is very true.
I'll tell you what, y'all just go up there and wreck each other. I'll be running about 6th or 7th, and I'll capitalize.
Yeah, I'm Dover's fun. I don't know why. Like Dover, I feel like should be such a boring race. I have so much fun there. I think it's the challenge. Auto Club. Looking at you, Garrett.
Don't look at me. You better be looking at that other fella in here.
Well, I mean, I took
The
out.
defending champ of Audio Club.
I took out two of my new teammates at Auto Club last time we raced there. Garrett and Paul in one swift move. And I've seen Garrett run there a lot lately. Well, not a lot, but I've seen Garrett run there lately. I think Garrett could be possibly a slight dark horse for that. Obviously, Andy's going to be fast there. Andy's fast everywhere, needless to say. At night,
Jeremy McKinnon is going to be hard to beat there. If
first,
Jeremy doesn't beat himself, I don't win that race.
Auto Club is a track that will eat your tires up and spit them out, though.
Yep.
And if we get long green flag runs, which I could see happening at Auto Club with it being a 2-mile track, very wide, multi groove, I could see tire strategy coming into play. And if it does, Jeremy is fast, but he's going to have to learn how to save some tire.
Yeah. The last time we ran at Auto Club, me and Jeremy, we knew going into it we were stopping one time. We had it kind of figured out. A lot of practice between the both of us and figuring out times. But we had it figured out on the time difference between one stop and two stop. And based on what we were running, there was no way that two stop would win. Um, so that's what our plan was. Jeremy in front of me, he was going to be hard to pass. Unfortunately for Jeremy, he sped coming onto pit road when he made his stop, and I didn't. And that
Paint
was
us surprised.
ultimately that is what the deciding factor at that race was. The pass for the win was made on pit road from a mistake. So if Jeremy can keep from speeding, he's going to be very, very hard to beat there.
Yeah, no, Jeremy. Honestly, we joke about Jeremy speeding
Yeah.
on pit road or whatever. Jeremy is one of those guys that he's always there, and if he if he's in a position to win a race, you got to keep your eyes on him because he can go get it done.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the fastest short run guys in the league, if not the fastest.
As much as we
Um,
give Jeremy a hard time for speeding on pit road, I promise you, if you look at the deltas on pit in and pit out, he is probably the fastest in lap, out lap of
oh,
over
absolutely,
anybody. So
Oh yeah.
and that's
he can
and
make up a
that's
lot of
right,
positions that way.
and that's probably why he gets the penalties he does because he is pushing it just that extra little bit, and sometimes it bites you.
Yeah, I wish I was as good at as Jeremy at getting in and off pit road when he doesn't speed because he's ah, damn, what race was it? Um, I think it was Texas season 3. I think it was Texas season 3. I pit the same lap, maybe a lap after, or I think I pit a lap before him, and he literally gained like 3 seconds on me in the pit cycle. And I was like, how the fuck did he do that? It's because he's just so good on getting
He's
on and off pit road. It's nuts.
when he won Charlotte, I think he gained a lot of time on and off pit road.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's we give him a hard time for it, but
he's so good.
he's so good at that. And on and off pit road, you lose a second on and off pit road, that equates to 3 seconds on the track.
Yeah, easily, easily. Um, After Auto Club, we go to Talladega.
Yes, sir.
Alabama gang gonna represent.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll have a really special sponsor for that race as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that race.
Home of the closest finish in Venom history.
yes,
Yep.
yes. Uh, Michael
We don't
Dean.
run there near enough, by the way.
No.
I would be okay running there in Daytona and leaving Atlanta out of it, but
I'm down. I'd vote for that. Um, Man, no offense, Andy, and I mean that. I truly do. Usually, when I say no offense, I'm about to say some ignorant bullshit. I wish Michael Dean would have won that race. I really do.
I wish Michael Dean won that race. To a point, my daughter, it fell on my daughter's birthday that year,
Oh yeah.
and in actuality, I threw a really late block on Carson, and it gave me a really really good push, and that's about the only thing that got me to that win. If Dean stays low with Nathan, even with that push, there's nothing I could do to pass him there.
Even though Michael Dean turned me in turn one earlier in that lap, I wish Michael Dean would have won that race, man. I don't think anybody knows this honestly, but before that, there was like a restart before all that happened. I don't remember when it was. Would have to go. I don't even know if I have the replay saved anymore. But um, I was starting next to Michael Dean or behind him. I think I was starting next to him, and I literally sent him a message. I said, "Hey, let's get linked up. We're going to the front," and we did. He ended up on. I wish it would have been reversed. I wish I would have been pushing him. Uh, but yeah, we got linked up. We went to the front, and yeah, he was 0.0000001 away from beating Andy in that stupid forward front windshield.
I was gonna say it was so close. I don't have the picture anymore. I don't think, but it was so close that you could not see my truck beat his
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah, it was. It's in the. I don't. I slowed it. I slowed it down in the intro video too, and you still can't tell who finished first. I mean, it's just nuts. I hope we have another classic finish there. Talladega is the bomb.com.
I
That's what
think
my
in what we've had 3 or 4 races there, I don't think there's a half second interval between first and second in 3 races
probably
combined.
not. Probably not. I think Talladega is so wide compared to Daytona that it invites those nice, close, comfy finishes.
Well, the nice thing about Talladega, like you hinted on there, it's wider than Daytona. So, Daytona you can comfortably run 2 wide. It gets tight 3 wide.
Yeah.
Talladega, you can run 3 wide comfortably. You can make it 4 wide, um, if you trust the people around you.
Yeah.
Coming to the finish, you can make it 5 wide and be fine.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have exciting finishes.
And then we finish up the season at Charlotte, which I'm actually excited about. Usually I'm not excited about cookie cutter mile and a halves, but I'm excited for Charlotte.
That's a good race to end the season on, especially if there's a battle for the championship. That's a solid track to settle a championship race at. And I'm anxious to see what the sponsorship for that track. Being our championship race, Cole owns the sponsorship rights to it. Cole, don't let us down. Give us something worth having there, brother.
So the nice thing about Charlotte, you kind of touched on it there. It's the perfect finale track. Even though you say it is a cookie cutter, it races different than every other one of those
Right.
tracks.
Yeah.
You have to. It does put more emphasis on the driver than anything else. There are some of those mile and a halves that is pretty well match gas turn left, but this is going to bring into tire savings. It's going to bring into, can you be fast on a different line than the guy in front of you? Pit strategy. It brings all that into play.
I think the All-Star race at Charlotte really showed how I wasn't really involved in much of the season 3 race at Charlotte, but the All-Star race at Charlotte in season 4, or it was season 2. The All-Star race was in season 4 though. Man, that track's gonna be a freaking blast, dude. I'm very excited. I think you hit the nail on the head there. With it being strategy, tire saving, all that stuff going into it. Oh, well, Garrett, one race you're excited about, real quick.
I mean, it's easy to say Talladega just because that is my pseudo home track, but I'm gonna mix it up here. I'm looking at a track like New Hampshire, somewhere we've never been. Something's gonna test our guys. Um, that something that they may have driven it, elsewhere, but they've never raced it with this group. I'm curious
Right.
to see what that track produces.
Andy?
I'm gonna have to go with. It's gonna be Wilkesboro. Showed a lot of speed there both times. Um, I, it's one of those, like I said, it's one of those that just really feeds into my driving style. I think a track that you've got to be good on the short run and on the long run, and it always creates good racing there. So I would say, of anything, Wilkesboro is probably the one I'm looking most forward to.
I have 3
No,
just
no,
in the
one.
last half of the season.
One ping only.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying in the last half of the season, there's easily 3 I could pick from. I'm gonna call my shot. I'm going with Michigan. That one owes me one.
Owes you one, but it owes me 2.
It owes
I'll-
me. It
I'll
owes
tell
me.
you
It owes me 3.
One of my favorite moments in the league history happened at Michigan, and whether it owes you or not, that was worth giving up to have that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll agree with that. I think Paul winning is easily, excluding my two personal favorite moments, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about one of them. Excluding those two moments, I mean, even including those two moments, Paul winning at Michigan is one of my favorite moments of all time, and I'm so glad I'm teammates with him again. I can't wait. I can't wait for season 6.
If I remember right, we were in an alliance with Ziddle Inc. that season, and I remember that last caution coming out, and Paul goes, "Hey, I have a set of tires. Should I pit?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paul, pit.
Yeah, Paul, DJ Thomas, myself, and Jeremy all had tires.
I
And
did
I
not have
remember
tires.
the first lap out, Jeremy got loose coming out of 4, come down the track, hit me, put me in the grass. And it had to be settled then between Paul and DJ. And there was a hell of a block put on DJ. And Paul just got away. Nobody could touch him.
I think I held DJ off for one corner, one set of corners, and I pinched him like a mother off of 1 and 2. Paul had that thing won though. As soon as he pit, he had that
Oh,
thing
yeah.
won.
No, absolutely. Paul would have won that race either way, but
Yeah,
he walked off. I think he ended up winning by like 2 or 3
yeah,
seconds.
yeah. He was. I mean, if DJ somehow watches this, no offense to DJ. DJ was fast, but Paul caught me, blew by me, and DJ actually gave me a shot to put it on his door. So, um, I'm excited for Michigan, man. I was running top 2. Obviously, that with Paul. Again, Paul winning was so awesome. That's even though we don't use it anymore. That's actually in the Venom Victory Lane um, opening sequence. That was a very very special moment that has been saved since season 2, and it will never be deleted off my computer.
Well, I've got a quick question since we're doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Andy, what's one person not named Andy Policky that you think is going to be champion next year?
Oh damn, that's a great question.
Oh, that is a great question. I think Paul, actually, the more we talk about it,
Ooh.
Paul has shown great consistency week in and week out, and save for a couple issues that knocked him out, I think he would have challenged me up to the finish.
John, what's one driver not named John K that you think can win the championship next year?
Nathan Reynolds. And if he runs the whole season, I mean, if you look at how locked in he was the last 2 weeks, or last 3 weeks of the season, um, good luck beating that dude. He's so good. No offense, Andy, but he's just, he's a fucking alien, and that's all there is to it.
You hit the nail on the head there. It's he's going to be hard to beat. I think he's beatable, but if he gets focused,
if he
gets
in,
focused,
yeah.
he's going to be really really hard to beat.
Yeah, if he's locked in, it's wraps. Garrett,
So
driver
I would.
not named Garrett Rainey, who wins championship.
I didn't expect Andy to say Paul. That's who I was originally thinking. Then as soon as Andy said Paul, I thought Nathan, and then you said Nathan. But the other driver that I think could come out and win a championship next year, he's sitting right here in this podcast. And the reason I say that is this league has a tendency to be streaky. You see guys start winning races and they win a lot of races. And then they kind of lose that golden horseshoe that we like to refer to so much. But in that time, they have a lot of success. Andy, I think, could very easily come out and compete for a title again next season, and that's not a shock to anyone by any means. Um, it, he's so consistent. He's fast every week, even when he's not good. He's still there. He's still running top 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, a bad night where Andy finishes with a clean truck, he's still got a top 10. Yeah, I mean, Andy would be my pick. if of the rest of the field. But I don't think obviously there's no one else in here. Somebody like Ryan who has nothing to prove. I want to say that first and foremost is Ryan is a person who feels like he has something to prove, and he has nothing to prove to anybody. Ryan has gone out and won 2 championships against the best competition we could give him, and he done it in a very outstanding fashion. I mean, he's gone out been consistent. If Ryan finds that level of consistency in season 6 that he missed in season 5, Ryan could be back on top as well.
Oh,
So I think
easily.
there's a group of 4 or 5 guys that if they find that consistency and they don't chase trophies, they just go after those point finishes and good finishes, they could find themselves atop that podium. And it's going to be really fun to watch from the outside because, I'll be able to sit there on track and watch it play out in front of me. And it's the whole every week it's just going to be another chapter of the book. And I think we're really approaching the best Venom has to offer in season 6.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I would agree with that too. I think everybody hates NASCAR right now because there's so much parity, right? All the cars are equal. Anybody can win on any given week. Well, what's the difference between us and the NASCAR Cup Series right now? You know, there's so much
About $1 million.
parity. Well, okay, besides the money and shit, but there's so much, there's so much talent in both groups, right? There's so much talent in NASCAR, obviously. There's so much talent in Venom. We all run the same stuff. They don't run the same setups, so get rid of that. But we run the same setups and stuff. I genuinely think, like, as good as season 5 was, I think season 6 it's gonna take it to another level. And just like you said, Garrett, it's another chapter in the book. And we're writing such a beautiful book right now. It's had its villains, it's had its heroes, it's had its ups and downs, it's had its conflicts and stuff. And
You've had your face turns, you've had your heel turns, and at the end of the day, we are one big family,
yeah,
and I'm
absolutely.
thankful to be a part of it and still be here and looking forward to another chapter.
Yeah, I'm surprised my ass didn't get kicked out a long time ago, so I'm glad to be here.
You ain't getting kicked.
Well, not now, no, with the old guy owning it, it was possible.
Oh yeah.
Surprised it didn't happen. So we'll wrap this episode up and we'll put a nice neat bow on season 5. And we'll do it like this. What was your guys' favorite moment of we'll do top 2 favorite moments. One personal and one for whatever. Non-personal moment. Top 2 favorite moments of Venom from season 5. I will let Mr. G Rainey go first.
Oh God, you're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah. Hard-hitting questions.
yeah. I mean, you hit me, you caught me off guard here.
Great journalism.
Here's the thing. I didn't have any great moments personally. I guess getting into the All-Star race as the very last person in on a fan vote, starting dead last, taking the white flag from the lead, having a chance to win that race. That was
cool.
pretty cool. I'm not
That's
gonna
pretty
lie.
cool.
But as far as like another moment from someone else, I think, man, honestly, this is gonna be kind of funny, but Flanky winning Bristol Dirt was awesome, dude. Like
Yeah.
the man called his shot in the offseason. Absolutely called his shot. Everybody
Yes.
laughed at him. Everybody said, "There's no fucking way, Flanky. You can't do it." And then he just flat out went out there, done what Flanky does, and that's drive on dirt, and shocked the world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if there were odds on that race, what would Flanky's odds have been? 8,000 to 1, 10,000 to 1?
10,000 to 1, 20,000 to
And
1,
the guy,
like
he
that.
didn't just go out there, and like Andy said earlier when I was talking about that race, I worded it poorly. I didn't mean it the way I worded it. He didn't just go out there and fluke win that race.
Oh yeah.
He was there from the drop of the green flag, and he won that race.
Yeah, that's facts. I couldn't believe. I thought people were fucking with me when I opened Discord and I saw that Flinky won, and then I remembered what race it was. The kid's got talent. I mean, there's and no pun intended using his nickname either. It's kind of forgotten about. But Flinky the kid, um, super happy for him. I mean, he runs all this dirt stuff in the Legends, and that's kick ass, dude. Like I'm so happy for him, and I'm glad he's got a win in Venom. We all really like Flinky. Flinky's the bomb. The best Florida man we have. I hope he's the only one we have because I would feel bad. But shout out Flinky. Champ, you want to go next or you
Andy,
want
what
me?
you got?
Yeah.
So the best moment that I can think for the league, or my favorite moment for the league, was Atlanta. As much as I hate that track, as what it's become, running the last 20 laps with 4 guys around me that either haven't won or have only won once, that was a lot of fun. And we ran, I mean, door to door, side by side, really clean laps. And then even coming to the checkered, having 2 guys that haven't never won in front, and then not only that, I think Cole was behind me. I mean, we had a lot of potential first time winners right around there, and we had great racing to the finish on that. So like I said, as much as I don't like what that track has become, that is probably one of my favorite Venom ones that, just watching it. Personally being in it, I could say, the cliche stuff like, Long Beach or, my win at Martinsville. But honestly, it was Darlington. The battle that me and Nathan put on, if you go back and watch that broadcast, it was 6, 7, 8 laps, solid, just awesome racing. Me trying to, keep bad air on his truck, him trying to find a way around. I mean, like I said, it just was amazing racing up until that accident. So even being involved in the accident, like I said, when you go back and watch it, it's just like that's what you want to see in racing. It is great racing, side by side, a lot of strategy involved in it. So yeah, that's probably my favorite moment of myself.
Uh,
Let's hear it.
I mean, my moment's gonna be pretty obvious. It's Wilkesboro. Um, Man, it's hard not to pick it. Um, uh, a lot of stuff had to fall just right for me to even be able to race this season. As you can see, this is not my mom's house. This is my apartment. Um, I took a big leap personally, and I have an apartment now. I have to pay rent in 2 days. So fingers crossed. I'm just kidding. I'll be able to make rent. But yeah, all that, and then to get back to doing what I enjoy doing with my free time, besides hanging out with my girlfriend, which is racing, especially with this group. Um, man, it it meant a lot, and it meant a lot that I won a race that Nathan was in, and I beat Nathan because I know I'm not the only one that uses him as a measuring stick as to how good I'm doing. But man, if it really meant a lot that Nathan. I've talked a lot of shit to Nathan about beating him in private, and I'm sure he can vouch for that. And so to go out, win that race, go back and watch his in car and how hard he was fighting that car. Um, Man, that's cool. It's cool. It's not as special. It's really special. Not quite as special as Darlington, but um, that is my personal favorite moment. And my favorite moment from the league, and I mean this honestly. And you can tell I mean it honestly because my eyes are barely open. The old Smoky's gone. Andy winning a championship. Um, and it's just because, man, like the past 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons, working with RNS and 3BM Superkick, working with Nathan, Brian, Garrett, Eric, Brandon, Kyle Dumick, Kyle Zittel. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else because it's just been so much help. They've all made me so much better as a driver. There have been so many nights on Tuesday when I was at college and just hating everything about the real world at the moment. Um, and then being at home, living with my mom, and really disliking the situation I was in with work and all that stuff. There was so many nights that I would hang out with Andy after races or after practices, and we would just sit and talk. And I talked about it earlier, the positive reinforcement. I get down on myself a lot. I give myself a lot of shit about being bad. It's because I wreck so much in practice. Like, who doesn't sit there and go, "Oh my god, I'm bad"? But so for a guy who is so genuine, who is so upfront with you, who will give you all the tips and tricks in the book, and try to make you a better racer, so that he can race the best he can to go out and finally win himself a championship. That is super special to me. Um, yeah, I mean, you're one of the Venom greats, man. You're up there with Ryan. You're up there with Nathan as champs. You're up there with Jeff Langston. Jeff hasn't won a championship, but yet he's won so many races. And that's just really cool to me, man. And I'm super happy. I'm saying that as a friend, not as a competitor or as a podcast host. I'm just so happy that you finally have a 1 in that column, and hopefully next season, give you a run for your money. We can make it interesting.
I hope so. That was very nice, John. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get all emotional, but
I gotta go. I got some allergies going on here.
me too. I got the white girl drunk tears going. Yeah, that's a wrap on season 5, and what a blast! I'm happy I actually got to be involved in it. I'm super looking forward to season 6 and all the fun it's gonna bring. I'm looking forward to being a part of a new team in the Alabama gang. Andy broke his headphones. He got so emotional. Um, I don't remember who I told this to the other day, but this is the first time I've been a part of a team that's actually I'm actually on a full team since like season 2, so very excited for that. I'm excited to see what Andy does in season 6 to try and retain his crowd. Did you break your
My stuff's
headphones?
janky. Yeah, these ones have been broke. My dog ate the cord on my good ones, so yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
trying
god.
to. I didn't want to wear my VR the entire time. It would have looked funny with the VR headset on, trying to do a podcast.
That would have been funny. That would have been fucking hilarious. But thank you guys for letting me waste 2 hours of your time. Man, I hope everybody enjoyed watching this.
How much do I get paid for doing this?
I'd say we call it equal for me making the Alabama game video.
Fair enough.
Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Do you guys have any final words?
Can't wait till season 6. Like I said, it's going to be a great season, most competitive season I think coming up. So I'm looking forward to everybody being out there.
Same.
Yeah, I'll reiterate that. Season 6 is going to be a blast. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the competition. The guys we get to race with on Tuesdays. Not a better group in the world. I swear by that. Love all you guys, man. It's a blast. But yeah, man, season 5, it's over. It's done. Andy's champ,
Done
and
and dusted.
it's time to throw it back and see what you got this time.
Yeah.
Got the target. Come and get it.
I want that B post off that truck.
Nathan's got to send it to me.
I know he does, but I want you to send it to me next.
You win the championship, I'll send it to you.
I got you. Yeah, that's all. Season 5's done and dusted. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to Michael Crawl's notes on this one. It's gonna be oh god, it's gonna be good. Next episode, Ziddle might be back. I don't know. We'll see. Probably gonna have the turn 200 guys on. But yeah, that's all
I
we
mean,
got.
this was supposed to be like a stand-in gig, and it's turned into a full-time job. So I don't know.
He should show up. Maybe it wouldn't be a full-time job, but yeah, that's it. Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. I won't be drunk, so I won't cry on video, and we'll be good.
See you guys.
By the way, I got it. Got it first try.
I had to grab a cold brew and turn all the lights off, so I'm still gonna be blurred out, but you won't be able to see all the bullshit.
All right. Jesus Christ. We can talk about turn 200's top
Okay,
10.
another one.